What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. For all the frustration that Saints fans felt last year, everything has to pale in comparison to how Jamaal Williams must have felt. He was on a Detroit Lions team that had one of those positive vibes, one of the best head coaches in the NFL. He went for over 1,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. Now, unfortunately, and I forgot about the 1,000 yards piece. I didn't know that, actually, to be honest. The touchdowns loom so large. But unfortunately, the Lions still were like, we really don't, we think we can upgrade. We don't think you're worth the money. And the Saints like, we'll pay you. And all was good. And you go from 1,000 yards and 17 touchdowns to 301. And the one touchdown was a cheapie that just ended up causing a whirlpool of drama at the end of the year.
I forgot about that.
And so because of this, it was a very depressing year for Jamaal Williams, very anger-inducing year. How did he combat that anger? He bought 2 Sphinx cats. And he named this. This is the most unhinged feline naming I've ever heard in my entire life. He named his cats Negative Beerus Williams, which I just love, and Pearly Lee Happy Williams. No idea why Pearly Lee. I hate that. I don't like the second name. I love Negative Beerus Williams, but yeah. So Negative Beerus and Pearly Lee Happy, keeping Jamaal on track, focused, saying, "quote I'm good. I've got my cats. Nothing can make me angry anymore. I've got my cats."
All right, I have to know who did the deep dive to find this information.
Let me find. You're right. I should credit who
knowing
wrote the
Jamaal
piece.
Williams, though, he may have just brought it up in the press conferences on his own.
It was Luke Johnson. Shout out
fair.
Luke Johnson.
Yeah.
Great. You've been a excellent sports writer for many, many years now. For a Marine, thank you for your service. Now, he was asked about Kubiak's offense, right? Because what role is he going to play? Is he going to maybe be some of that hybrid juice stick role that everybody's trying to highlight? I mean, he basically played fullback all last year. Anytime he was asked about Kubiak's offense, and any way that he was asked, the question was posed to him and framed to him multiple ways.
Yeah.
All he said was, quote, "me likey." I'm just going to keep it at that.
Me likey.
This dude's thrown off.
Yeah,
we always knew that.
Yeah.
But me likey is weird. Although, again, probably not as unhinged as Negative Beerus Williams and Pearly Lee Happy Williams.
Like, whatever makes them run the football better this year.
Yeah, I agree.
From any of the running backs.
I agree. I think they're going to run the ball better just because of the scheme. So Cui Bono, who benefits most from Kubiak's new offense? Is it the offensive line having some scheme and some motion and some modern concepts to put them in better positions? Is it Alvin Kamara, who has had to watch his career? So for so long, it was him and CMC dueling for who was the future. These 2 running backs that were like, oh, this is what a running back looks like now.
Yeah.
This is who you can pay. And Kamara's watched his fortunes crumble while CMC just continues to ascend. Is it Jamaal Williams, again, from 1,017 to 301? Who benefits most in this offense?
I mean, I think it's going to be Alvin Kamara, but also it's, the offensive line's going to be helped out because they were just not creative at all in the run game.
No.
Just not one bit. And some teams don't have to be creative because they've got a special player. And we talked about that with LSU last year. They didn't have to be creative in the run game because they had the X factor in college football in Jaden Daniels and what he could do. So you didn't have to really do a lot. You kept it simple, But for the Saints, that was like the complete opposite. Like, they were bad at it, but they kept doing it, and it never really changed. So the offensive line will pick something up. The tight ends, their blocks will be helped. But, I mean, Alvin Kamara has to feel much better about what he's going into now than what he's been in the past. And so you're going to have a different style. Like, is it going to be one where Alvin Kamara can pick it up? Because you're going to be running now a lot of times with a lead blocker as well. It's not something you've done a ton of in the last couple of years.
Yep.
And then, like, for me also, like, the Deebo Samuel role in that offense, it's kind of major because you want to have a guy that does so many different things, and you don't really have that guy on your roster.
No.
But what do you do with a Taysom Hill. Like, you can be so creative with him. We've seen him line up at fullback already, and so there's a couple of people that we could have that conversation about, but I think ultimately it's got to be Alvin Kamara.
Like a great Hollywood remake. I think the Saints don't need to get too beholden to just trying to go shot for shot like, oh, we're just going to run the Shanahan offense. You have to take the kind of core concepts of the core creativity and make it your own. Yeah, you don't have a Deebo Samuel, but San Francisco doesn't have a Taysom Hill. How do you take advantage of that? How do you create situations for that player to be successful? Because that's probably the real genius of Shanahan. No doubt the schematics matter and whatnot, but it's finding these weapons, and this is what any great coach does. You find your weapons, and then you manipulate the situation and put them in positions to succeed. It's something that Pete Carmichael had kind of completely lost his way with, and I wonder if Klint Kubiak can kind of if he can achieve some of that here in New Orleans. I don't know. What I do know is that Jamaal Williams has cats, and apparently he likey the new Cube offense. We'll see how it ends up. But either way, he's going to be happy thanks to Negative Beavis and Pearly Lee happy.
I sure hope so, because I need the running backs for the New Orleans Saints to be much happier than they were a year ago. Out of all the starting running backs in the NFL, Alvin Kamara ranked 26 last year in Pro Football Focus grades. 26.
A man whose star burned so bright on the edge of a Super Bowl, the incredible last good Peyton Breeze years when they went on that 3 to 4 year run where they were the best, the winningest team in the NFL. A man who the city fell in love with, walking home after the games, biking home after the games.
Jamaal Williams was 56.
Yeah. Again, to go from 1,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, and a Lions team that was on the up and up, making the playoffs, all good vibes, to then go to New Orleans, the fan frustration, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, and the touchdown that you got. Like, that's about as professionally disappointing of a year as you could possibly have. And all jokes aside, that is a huge amount of mental adversity to try to overcome. And so you got to find out, you got to try to overcome it however you can. And here's to hoping that, that Kubiak is that panacea that we all hope he can be.
Yeah, I actually know that one.
Yep.
Also from the running back position, they have got to figure out their third down back situation. And that might sound crazy because you're like, Alvin Kamara. Certainly he's going to be a third down back. He graded out as, for player top 100 backs that qualified, the lowest rated pass protector of any running back in the NFL.
What?
19%.
What? 19 out of 100?
Yeah.
So he was doing the correct thing 1 every 5 times, or winning his reps 1 of every 5?
So like that, and it showed up a little bit on film, but when you don't know the scheme, you don't know who's, the way they're declaring mics and different things. But I mean, there was some no-hitters on film as well. And I was like, is this like a door screen where he's supposed to like act like he's blocking and quickly turn around? It's like, no. I mean, so that's like one of the parts of his game that also needs to kind of get back to where it was, because it hasn't always been like that.
No, I don't. Yeah, exactly. It hasn't always been like that. And so that feels like a workplace happiness issue. That feels like you just don't care, or you're angry and you're just not trying. I mean, 19%, you have to almost actively try to grade out that badly when you are a professional of Alvin Kamara's caliber. So we'll see. But Saints OTAs rolling on, and Jamaal Williams, it's all good. And here's to hoping that running back room can benefit off of our guy Kubiak. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.